All right, I have with me today Jeff Smith, the head of Zoom Rooms, and we wanted to have a conversation about learnings from the last year and where Zoom is intending to go and support us all in this migration to a hybrid workplace. So, Jeff, you've been at Zoom a couple of years, but I think we were talking earlier, the last year probably felt like 10 years as you as you ramped up and scaled up to absorb all these sudden changes to the workplace. Why don't you share with us some of your experiences?
Absolutely. And thank you for having me. It has been a challenging year for everyone. And for us at Zoom, what we experienced was an acceleration of trends that we've seen in the industry for the last decade. And it definitely felt like a lot of that was compressed into a very short amount of time. These were trends that were, slowly taking place in the workplace with enabling of distributed workforce and empowering individuals to be productive wherever they were. And seeing all of that take place in such a short amount of time was a challenge. It was one that we responded to. From my perspective, we responded to it well, and it was a great responsibility for us to be the communication system that so many people relied on to remain afloat in such a challenging time. For us in the room space, it was especially challenging. So looking at conference rooms being evacuated, around the world, it was for us to pivot to support home workers in our Zoom for Home initiative was one that we took pride in last summer, and then to again respond to customers' needs in the support for return to office with voice commands and remote control of devices. So it's been a journey for us to rapidly respond to customers' needs.
Yeah, I think it is really impressive to see how quickly, everybody from just moms and from, civil groups and all kinds of new scenarios, they were introduced to the power of using Zoom as a way to connect and collaborate. But as businesses begin to plan and begin the act of bringing everybody back to the office, what do you think are some of the top priorities to take some of these learnings from this period and move it into the future?
Well, this has been a grand experiment where I think we've proven the ability for people to be very effective and productive in an all remote environment. And our challenge now is to also prove that we can be effective in a hybrid environment where we can optimize both scenarios, optimize the collaboration of individuals when they're physically together in the office, as well as being able to include people that are not able to be there physically. And that equity of experience, both in the office as well as being remote, is a particular challenge for us in the Zoom room space to deliver on the experiences that people expect. And it's not doing the same things that we did prior to all being remote. When we go back to the office, it's our feeling that we'll go back with more intention. We won't go to the office to do our work. We'll go to the office to be with our colleagues, to connect with our teams, to collaborate together. And those types of experiences will require different types of spaces to enable, that will also require the ability to bring in people that are not able to be there physically. And as we rethink the physical spaces that we collaborate in and the tools that are necessary to do our work, we need to reimagine what those tools are, how they enable us to connect both in real time as well as to content that is persistent, that exists before, during and after meetings are done.
Yeah, That's great. So one of the things that has been key to Zoom's success, I think, during this pandemic, everybody embraced it so quickly, is partly because of your relentless focus on simplicity and making it really easy to use. How are you extending those same principles into Zoom rooms so that you can really deliver great experiences in the rooms?
So our focus on simplicity and ease of use extends to two users that I think about. I think about the end user themselves, but I also think about the administrator, about those that are acquiring equipment, that are deploying that equipment, installing it, managing it, and also pushing out the application, the Zoom application to users. So we think about that entire journey of a customer adopting a new platform for their physical spaces, and hardware that aligns with those visions is and that can also live in all the physical spaces that customers need to enable. And these are small huddle rooms, they're regular sized conference rooms, but they're also open collaboration spaces, training rooms, executive boardrooms. And that's one where we have heavy reliance on our partners like Crestron to build solutions that are fit for purpose in all those different physical spaces. So for Zoom enabling an office requires a whole breadth of solutions, and all of them need to enable the administrator and the procurement and the management, the IT management, to deploy them at scale. We're all under a lot of pressure to ramp up quickly because the world doesn't wait for us, and all of these things need to be in place so that all of us can be productive.
Yeah, that's right. Well, the world certainly didn't wait for us to get past the pandemic. Business had to go on. We all learned how to scale quickly and to adapt to those changes. And that is, a big part of the reason we're very excited and grateful for your partnership. We think that the tight marriage between Zoom and Crestron hardware and extending it to all of these spaces, making it an equitable place and opportunity for colleagues to meet and collaborate, whether they're in the office or home, and we can do so much good together. So I really appreciate your time, Jeff. Thank you for sharing your insights and learnings with us.
I appreciate it, and thank you for having me.